Hi everyone, welcome back to your channel. In this series of the tutorial, I would like to talk about the complete project of IoT, and that is about the pushing the temperature and humidity to the server, and then you can visualize this data in front end. If you are interested in this topic, please stay with me and let's get started. Okay, as you observe in this project, which we can call it as a ESP32 IoT project, it's including the several layers. The first layer is about the hardware layer. So the hardware is or including ESP32 module and also DHT11, which is the sensor for temperature and humidity. It can sense some data for temperature and humidity, and then it can push this data to the ESP32. So this is the connection, which you can see that there is a 3.3 volt, and it will goes to the input, voltage input, and there is a GND which will connect to the GND of the ESP32, and there is the signal pin from DHT11, which you can define it in one of the GPIO pin in ESP32. In this project I used pin 4, so it's up to you, you can change it. So that is only for the hardware part. And after ESP32 got this data, then it need to push this data to the server. The solution, which in this project we already defined, is Wi-Fi. But again, that is not the only the way. It can be done with other solution, but definitely not stand alone only with the ESP32. It could use some other module like GPRS, like 4G, 5G, but it need an extra module, not with ESP32. So here ESP32 will work as a gateway, and then it will push this information to the server. So we are using in communication layer, we are having the Wi-Fi as a method for pushing the data, and then we have the MQTT broker. So this MQTT broker, which is using the Mosquito, is a one of the broker in a local broker in my system, and it will push this information to the InfluxDB via a Flask server. So we have this here, the MQTT, which can as a broker, and there is the subscriber which is consume this data, and that is actually using Flask server. So Flask server will work as a middleware here, and after getting the data from the broker, then it will push this information to InfluxDB to store the data. And when the data is stored, it will actually read this data to the front end with the HTML and CSS, and you can visualize this data in the package of the because the front end. So here actually I have the two Flask server, but it can be only one. It's up to you. For the purpose of the this project, I made it as two. One can subscribe to the broker, get the data, push it to InfluxDB, and second one read the data from InfluxDB and push this information to the front end for visualization, to see that how it will work. Yeah. So this is the entire of the process for this project, and I'm jumping to the real case as a demonstration to show you how this process is doing. Okay, as you can see here, I have the by ESP code here, and now this the data of the DHT11, the sensor were received by ESP32, and you can see the temperature and humidity. These are the values, and push this information to MQTT server or broker. So I have another server which can get this data in Flask server, and then store this data into InfluxDB. So now here you can see this is my InfluxDB, and it will store all this data. You can see here all the data already stored, and here also this is the InfluxDB. You can see the data, and also we have this data as a front end to see how this data is pushed to the InfluxDB. Yeah. So here this is the front end, and as you can see, this is the timestamp, and here I have the temperature, humidity, and this is the latest value which you can see here is showing the temperature and humidity. Yeah. So these are all the data which is getting from the InfluxDB, and it will be actually updating into front end. And in front end, actually, I have defined some other functions, which is one of them is the threshold. This threshold is for just the purpose of the visualization. You can define there's some threshold with the color code. Suppose that I'm getting now, for example, humidity now is 69. So let me just make this for the high. If I'm getting this 68, and this one lower than maybe this 50. Let's see better. Yeah, it should work. So you can see now the values are changed based on this threshold, and you can visualize as a color code. There is another option which I have defined, but that is not the purpose of this demo. That's just informing you. Definitely in future I will make another video about this, but it can push this information to the different the social media or through the email, but the Telegram, WhatsApp, or email. It can push this information whenever reached to the certain amount of the data or certain amount of the we can say the value, like a temperature, or maybe this is the humidity. Then it will push this information to that server with the different method. Yeah, this is the target for this part. It is not the purpose of this demo, or we can say this tutorial. I will make another tutorial about this point. Yeah, that's all for this part of this session, and in upcoming session I will discuss about all these components and how you can make this project from beginning. It will come, as I said, from the hardware, and then come to the communication layer, and then goes to the data layer, which is including the InfluxDB, which is pushing the data to the InfluxDB and also push data to the front end. All this process will be explained. So please stay tuned for all this process. I will upload more video about entire of this process. Thank you again, and if you think this video was helpful for you, please don't forget to like, and please put your comments below. Definitely I will get back to you. Thank you, and see you in next one.